Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
This is Life Transformation Radio. I am your host, Master Resilience Implementer, professional speaker, performance enhancement expert, and author, Sean Douglas. Welcome to all of our listeners who are listening from wherever you are. This show is currently heard in over 30 countries, so I want to thank you so much for everybody who listens. Thank you so much for the support that you've given me this year. The show is heard in countries such as the U.S., Brazil, Canada, France, Australia, and New Zealand. So thank you so much to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformations. Here, we tell the stories of why we are doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we are using these two to help transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us every Wednesday and on the first and third Fridays. But today is a special pop-up episode. I do the special pop-up episodes for amazing guests that are doing some incredible things in the up-and-coming weeks, like book launches, podcasts, just whatever they're working on. We highlight those moments, and that's what we're going to do here today. On the show, we have impactful and amazing guests that impact lives all around them. And my guest today does exactly that. This is a live show, so if you have any questions for the guest, you can call in at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. You can call in and talk to the guests. My team will be screening all the calls, so there's no weird, funny business. And so I want to welcome to the show the amazing Allana Pratt. What is happening?
Oh my God, I'm so excited, Sean. You are the bomb, and I welcome the weird, funny stuff. Come on, bring it.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I've had some really weird callers call into the show, so. But you know, what's a live show without a little bit of weirdness, right?
Oh yeah, awesome. It's such a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So we met at Steve Olsher's event, the New Media Summit, and I was blown away at how you played full out that weekend. Like you were talking to everybody, and you were like, just your energy about you. Like I have a lot of energy, but you were like, man, like you just polarizing, and I loved it. I'm like, who is this? Like you're everywhere. You're talking to this person, laughing with this person. It was like you really played full out.
Thank you. I think we're from the same tribe or the same class because I felt exactly the same with you. But it was amazing to show up, and we'll learn more about my why moment. But I'd honestly been hiding for almost a decade, and a lot of the people that I ran into there, it had been 10 years since I saw them, and I had to work through a lot of embarrassment and shame and open heart when I wanted to close it, and the results were great. I'm so grateful to be a huge contribution to a lot of people's podcasts now, and especially to your delicious people here on your show.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's awesome. So if you are ready, let's do this.
Bring it.
This show is entitled Intimate Conversations with Allana Pratt. Intimacy expert Allana Pratt inspires her clients to be unapologetically true to themselves, to their love lives, and to their businesses. Featured on CBS, Fox, and the Huffington Post, this cum laude graduate of Columbia is the author of 4 books, coach to celebrities such as Leeza Gibbons when she was in Dancing with the Stars, and the host of the sexy, empowering show Intimate Conversations, interviewing guests such as Alanis Morissette, Dr. Christiane Northrup, and Guy and Katie Hendricks. All of the show notes, all of her links, everything is all there. Check her out. Facebook.com/Coach Allana Pratt. You can look Twitter, Instagram. You can go to AlanaPratt.com, and then men, get her to say yes. I love that's like the greatest website ever. Like gethertosayyes.com. right?
Thank
and
you.
you have complimentary training for how to be a noble badass. Like, I was like, what is this? Like, this is awesome. So, I think my wife might say that I need some of that training, but I was like, get her to say yes. Like, that's awesome. It's how to be a noble badass. Like, I'm blown away.
Every man, I believe every man inside is a noble badass. I really do. And so when I first got a chance to work with men, Sean, I'd worked with women for 15 years, but I realized there's a place in men that has often been emasculated. Unknowingly, all the times, we women get bitchy or cranky, but really deep down inside, we're scared, and we like cut off their balls. And there's a wound. And there's also a way to awaken that noble badass, to heal your heart and to have, your fullness showing up again. And sometimes you don't want your wife to be your mentor or your mother or your therapist, right? You want someone else, a third party, to help you get back on your feet again. So that's what I do with guys.
That's awesome. Huh. Perfect. So the first question I always ask all of my guests on the show is why. I believe that when you found your why, it is the most important motivating factor that you have. Okay?
Yeah.
So every day you wake up and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Or why am I? Whenever we have a breakup, we say, why? Why did this happen? When we have a loss in our lives, I know non-believers that'll go, why, God? Like, I don't even believe. Like, why? Like, that's what we do. We want to know why. It's like we have to fill in the blank. So my question to you is why? What is your why? Why did you decide to do what you do now?
I have so many why moments I want to share with people. The first one, my cat hadn't even died. My grandmother's had not died. Nobody died. And my best friend died. I was 16 years old. And they were supposed to come over for the weekend. And my girlfriend came running down the stairs at my cabin out at the lake. And she's like, James is dead. And they would play jokes on me all the time. I hate bananas. Yeah. They'd smush bananas on my pizza and not tell me. They were all jokers. And then her parents walked up behind her and knew it was true. And I remember running down. Our cabin was right beside highway, 2 lanes. And I remember running down the yellow line, looking up at the top of the trees, just screaming, no! Like if I could keep screaming no, it wouldn't be true. And I could hear screeching cars, and I could hear people say there's been a death. And I remember my dad walking down the yellow line. And it was odd that it was my dad, because my dad was a drunk and stoned all of his life, could never rely on him. But he walked down the yellow line, he shook my shoulders, and he goes, look, if this is it, let's get off. There is life after death. You will see your friend again. And I didn't even know my dad was like spiritual, but he woke up a possibility inside me. Later on that night, my friends took me to go bike riding at the provincial park down the way. And as we were coming home on a totally clear, not a cloud in the sky evening, as it opened up and I see where our cabin was along the lake, there was a double rainbow right over my cabin. And you see, my friend that had just died, his mother had just died 10 months prior. And I got what he just couldn't handle being without her. And now they were together, and I was going to be okay. And in that moment, I had a decision to make. I could either not be in this pain, never have met him, or I could go through this pain, enjoy the time that I got to know him, and live the rest of my life with my heart open. When I feel I love somebody, say it. When I have a dream, go for it. Like, I'm not going to let his life matter. I'm going to be inspired by this pain and crack myself open to a deeper level of living. That happened at 16. From there, I can tell you more stories, but that was the first one, Sean.
Wow. That is, wow. That's probably one of the toughest things, too. I mean, we have these amazing friends, that we plan on seeing forever, and
right.
Because I think the women do this more than the guys. That the guys aren't like, I want like an amazing husband and 2.5 kids and a picket fence. Like, I don't think guys do that. They're just like, I want this like hot woman with some awesome cars, like. But we always plan to do these together. Like, you're gonna be my best man. You're gonna be my maid of honor. Like, we always, talk about like, you're gonna be in my way, and we'll babysit our kids. We'll grow kids together. And then that's ripped from our world. I've had a couple friends, when I was in 8th grade, when I was in 10th grade, I had some military brothers that I deployed with, and they didn't come home. That is tough. That is tough to deal with. And sometimes you feel responsible.
Yeah. Oh, my God. On top of it, I can't even imagine. I think the lesson that we're all taking, at least from this first why in today's episode, is that there's no guarantees and there's no way out of this place without pain. And yes, there's pleasure too, but if we clamor for the pleasure and resist the pain, we shut our heart, we go into autopilot, we make stupid decisions, and we suffer the rest of our life. Or we can keep our heart open and burn in the pain and be a phoenix rising in that pain and let it inspire our actions moving forward. Let that person's life and death inspire us to live more fully and show up. Who cares if we fall down? Get back up again. Who cares if they rejected us? Show up again. Who cares if, like you were telling me a little story, I won't say it before the episode started, of you calling somebody and them not being happy for you. Okay, who are you going to be about it? Right? You're going to keep your heart open and keep moving for the people you're here to serve, not worrying about people that reject you and letting the pain. It's kind of like, with a workout, sometimes it hurts so good, So let the pain hurt so good and keep going.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Slap your ass.
So let's highlight, right? So let's highlight that for a second. Who was, you can go back, 5 or 10 years or however, but tell me who you were before you got to this point. Who were you?
I was a very insecure people pleaser who married. I was a model in Japan. I'm from, okay, so let's go back. I hopped on Uncle Phil's 18-wheeler semi from little town in Canada all the way down to LA to make it in Hollywood, right? Failed miserably. Wow. I was talented enough, but I wasn't American. So the only job I could get was over in Japan, being a dancer, being a model, being a spokesperson. So at least I didn't fail. I went over there and I met tall, dark, and handsome husband number one. And I remember he took me to the Philippines for a vacation. He's like, bring your passport and your bikini. And to little Miss, small town Canadian, I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? And there we were one morning in bed, and he was negotiating his bonus. And he was talking like 1.3, 1.5. I'm like, that's millions. They don't talk about that in thousands. They talk about that in millions. Right. And I, prior to that, Sean, was so proud of myself that I'd saved $55,000 dancing and modeling and being a spokesperson. I was friggin' proud of myself. But in that moment, I decided, because he made 1.3 million as a bonus, I'd only made 55,000, that he was better, that I wasn't enough. It triggered all my daddy issues. Do you love me? Do you see me? All of that stuff that I'd never healed. Boom, I was instantly bonded to this to prove the worth. So I did the marriage thing. And then, of course, I did the whole divorce thing because I realized I only married for security. And, I loved him, but I really didn't really know what love was because I didn't even love myself yet. Fast forward to my next marriage, my mom was dying of cancer. And again, I'm not going to be the little fairy tale damsel in distress anymore. I'm going to be the badass woman who can take care of herself. And do you have a checkbook, a pulse, sperm? Let's do this. I didn't do it for love. And my mom was dying, and I closed my heart. I was terrified to lose that relationship, so I wanted to replace with marriage and a child as quickly as possible. I don't recommend this. It was not an enlightened choice. It was the flip side of the same wound, being a little girl, trying to be this badass, masculine woman. And of course that marriage ended as well in divorce. And so I had to really look like, okay, who's the only one in common here? That would be me. Okay, we've got some work to do. And so that really began the path of me becoming an intimacy expert. Intimacy. Into me, I see. I didn't like who I saw inside. She was ashamed. She was scared. She was secure. She was wobbly. If we really wanted to have a perspective, we could say she even used men to feel safe, used men to have a baby. Like, I'm not an evil bitch, but I was very insecure. And when our heart is closed and we're not connected to our wisdom and our nobility and sacredness, we don't make the best choices, and certainly didn't. So I had to apologize to others. Had to take responsibility for my actions. I had to apologize to myself, and I had to learn, forgive, and to grow and this is one of the main things about intimacy, I believe, with the couples that I coach and the singles who are getting back in the dating scene again and really want to stop the trend of emotionally unavailable partners. I had to see where I was emotionally unavailable to myself, where I was blaming myself, judging myself, rejecting myself, and I had to come to peace with all these wobbly parts until I could finally open my heart and begin dating again and going, hey, here I am, all of me, good, the bad, the ugly, hi. And this is called vulnerability. And this is actually tremendously attractive when somebody's real and there's no masks and you can get really authentic and honest, not just on a date or a tense date, intimately in the bedroom, the kind of sex that's possible when there's no masks and you can just show up real is exquisite and orgasmically breathtaking. Like there's so much possible in our life when we can actually have an intimate relationship with ourselves, our body, our sexuality, all of it. So that's how I hear.
I love it. I can feel your passion. Like I just love it. Love it.
Thank you.
I think that something that resonated with me, what you were saying.
Yeah.
And it comes back to the quote that says you can't fix what's going on around you until you fix what's going on inside you. And a lot of people, like at least for me, and I can't speak for everybody, but from what I know and from what I hear, because when I do the resiliency training, it always comes out. People tell me. But what it is we try to mask our own pain by trying to help others. Like it's like we're going to help you through your pain or I'm going to do something to kind of mask mine and pretend that it's not there. And then something triggers it. Like you said, it triggered my, issues or whatever. And then it just boils over. It's like, okay, now what? Now we're stuck. Like you've shoved it down so far. And I masked mine with alcohol. I masked mine with working a lot. Sure. I masked mine with, I have a solution for you. Oh my God, I know how to do this. I know how to, I'm going to fix it, and it just, it didn't, nothing felt fulfilling until I fixed what was going on inside me.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. One of the things I believe my tribe that's attracted to me, that reads my newsletters and, gets my YouTube videos or et cetera, is that I'm always willing to call one on myself with humor and with kindness. So they trust me. I am pretty badass at what I do, pretty masterful at being a coach, but I'm also I can't cook very well. There's a lot of things I can't do. So I'm really honest, and it makes people feel safe so they don't have to shine one on either. And I'll just be a little bit rigorous with your wording because I think it's very important. Semantics, well, it's huge. Words have energy. And even the word fix, the presupposition of fix is something's broken. What if we took on the point of view that there's nothing ever broken about you, and yet your nature is always perfectly imperfect? You're never going to get there. We're always going to be growing and evolving. Because if you come in, like imagine little Sean or little Alana is in the back farthest corner of your heart, shut in there, in the dark, in the back corner. And we've been judging that part of us with a 2x4 emotionally. Slash, stupid, blame, reject, not good enough, stop being so scared, get it together, why aren't you perfect? Like that's how we talk to ourselves. So if we go in and go, hey, it's time to fix you, loser, like it's not, who's going to, like they're going to give you the finger, like fuck, screw off. I'm not going to, Can I swear on this show? I'm trying really hard not to at times, but I don't know if
wait, we're raw, we're real. Like we don't.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
so, well, thank you. Because the little one in you, what little child, I mean, how many parents are listening right now? If your child is having a temper tantrum and you say, stop it, like, shut up, they're going to just fuck off, right? Like, they're not going to change. It's when we can be in allowance. It's when allowance doesn't mean you like it. Allowance doesn't even mean you prefer it. Allowance just means you're going to put down your resistance. You're going to put down your 2x4. You're going to put down your, I'm going to fix you. And just be, hey, you have every right to feel this way. I get it. I acknowledge you. I validate you. You have every right to be scared. That kind of coming together with allowance and no fixing, that's the grace. That's the magic. That's the changing transformation point when you can actually look yourself in the mirror and stop judging yourself and just go, hey, dude, you did your best.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me put my arm around you. hey, do you want a shot of tequila or some hot chocolate? Whatever, however old the little ye is inside that you're talking to. And then you go, okay, so what are some changes we can make? What are some new decisions we can make? What are some new beliefs we can take on? What do we need to let go of? What do we need to clean up? I've got your back, and I'm never going to judge you or forsake you again. I promise. Okay, maybe I will. Maybe I'll mess up, but then I'll clean it up. I promise. We'll be this perfectly imperfect duo. And one day, I swear, Sean, in my coaching sessions or in my group programs, there's a moment of grace when this part of you inside that you have rejected for decades finally trusts you, that you might not be perfect, but you have integrity and you really are willing to make up for the damage done. There's a moment of communion that happens. It's like a click where you no longer look for safety or approval on the outside in, because you found that safety and approval on the inside out. And it's this feeling of home where you can just show up in the world. And of course, we'd prefer people like us and pay us and all that good shit, but we don't need it anymore to be who we are. And it's powerful, and it's easy and graceful, and it's very attractive, not only to your beloved, but to clients. And you just somehow seem to be in the flow and in the zone and in the groove for what you're here to do on the planet.
Awesome. Wow. I got goosebumps right now. It's like,
what?
That was so great.
Yeah.
Like, you're like a badass. Like, I love it.
Thank you.
I love the way that you explained it. There's so much. I'm like, I don't know if I'm analyzing myself, going, man, I got some work to do. Because we want to kind of feel like we have it all figured out, like, oh, well, I know what to do. And, but when you hear, explanations of things and you're like, oh, I'm failing. I'm failing there too. Stop. I'm failing there too. Like, man,
yeah,
that's awesome.
And please be kind to yourself and give yourself a snuggle.
But that's what I get. That's what I get.
Yeah, I'm a work in progress too. I have probably 40 to 45 full-time private clients. I do group programs. I'm a busy woman. And I think it's completely out of integrity for me to be there for others if people don't have my back. I can't see blind spots to save my ass. So I've always got 2 or 3 coaches holding me to a very high level of integrity so that I can transfer that into my clients. I'm always growing. I'm always learning. I've probably already spent like $150,000 on workshops and coaches over my 20 years of being a coach, because that's what my clients deserve. That's why I am good at what I do. Is because I'm willing to call one on myself too.
Yep. I just paid $5,000 to a speaker coach, and nice. And we're working together. Here you go. Here's $5,000. But that's what it takes, though. You know what I mean? That's just what it takes. You want to operate at a high level. You gotta. You gotta pay to play, or whatever you call it. But it's knowing that you need it.
You better get a coach. So that's like, woohoo, Sean, woohoo, hands in the air. Yeah, you're awesome. Well done.
I still can't believe that even happened. Like, it's kind of like you like to sit around the fire with a couple of beers, and you're like, well, I don't, because I don't drink. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, you sit around with some friends or whatever, and you're like, man, what would I do with $1 million? Like, you're holding that lottery ticket in your hand, like, oh, what would I do with $345 million? Oh, I do that. And then it actually happens, and you're like, crap. Like, now I have to actually follow through. Like, no.
Oh my God.
Like, you know what I mean? The dreaming is where the fun is. The execution is not the fun part. Like, because all that pressure comes on you, and you start being rude to yourself so bad.
Yeah. So knock it off, huh? Because this is like when, whatever shit hits the road, or this is like hits the fan. It's time to walk our talks, people. We can all talk a big game, dream a big game. But one of my coaches says to me, because I'm single, I'm dating, is like, never ever believe what a guy says on his profile. Never ever believe what a guy says on it. Never ever believe what a guy says even in the first year of marriage. Whatever. Only watch their actions. That's it. Do they walk their talk? That's all we watch. And so we want to really take this on for ourselves of like, sure, I talk a big game, I say a big game, but like, do I actually follow through when nobody's looking? I teach my son level D, like democracy, integrity. Yeah. Like, that's what really makes a noble badass. And as a woman, that's really what, we women have such incredible radiance to awaken the best in people with our love, with our sacred sensuality, with our inspiration, with our smile.
But if we're not walking our talk, then we're a fraud.
Right.
And then everyone else doesn't believe in the power of the feminine because we're not in integrity. So let's do our work, people.
Perfect. I love it. So can you highlight your transformational moment? Like, what was that moment that set you on the path to where you are now?
So I told you about the one when I was 16 where death really woke me up. I would fast forward to about 5 years ago. So I married, remember, husband number 2, and I divorced him, right? But I had a child. Well, for the past 13 years, he has not really enjoyed that I broke my word till death do us part and humiliated him and divorced him. And he's taken revenge against me with a 12 or 13-year custody battle. A custody battle that made my son want to suicide. He was in 150 a few times. That's when the state takes your child away for suicidal ideations. It has not been fun.
Wow.
I've lost my house. I've lost my savings.
Wow.
And I even went into $250,000 of debt with these legal bills to try to save my son and to not let my ex take him away from me. That was his goal. Full custody. I'm taking it away from you.
Wow.
So there was a moment when I was on not fun, right? So there was a moment about 5 years ago when I was on the stand, and I'm such a kumbaya, bunny rabbits and rainbows kind of person. I help people want to grow every day. I don't think people lie. Like, it doesn't even compute in my brain. You put your hand on the Bible. You're at the courthouse.
Oh yeah.
You tell the truth and nothing but the truth. No, they don't. So my ex is lying out his ass. His lawyer is lying out his ass. I'm just like dumbfounded. I'm on the stand. There's the judge beside me. There's the stenographer typing a million miles a minute. And they're asking me these idiotic, deceitful, manipulative, crazy questions. And I'm cowering, Sean. I'm like, I can't even believe it. My heart is caved. My shoulders are forward. I'm shaking. And then there was this moment when I went, wait a minute. I'm at choice. I'm always at choice. Nobody's making me do anything. I'm in charge. Take the reins back of your chariot, sister. Straighten up that back. Open your heart. Connect with God. Connect with the earth. Let's do this. And he asked me another question. I took a breath and I go, look, you're trying to manipulate me with that question. Let me tell you how that went down. Judge, listen. Stenographer, listen. This is how it went down. And I just went boom, 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 boom. And then when I was done, I go, that's the truth. What's your next question? And I owned that fucking courthouse. That was my room. No one was going to manipulate me any longer. It was this. I felt like I was Wonder Woman going through like that. What's that called? Like that scene when she runs through and it's like friggin' awesome, right?
No.
So
Yep.
I'm like, wow, I can be this. We can all be this. We are in charge either to react. Oh my God, how could they? Why? Or
Right, exactly.
open-hearted, respond. I'm in charge of my life. I can't control the outcome of this court case, but I sure as shit can control what comes out of my mouth and make sure everybody here knows what really went down and own it. And I just floated out of that place and no longer, even though I don't like what happens when my ex does certain things to me, the trigger has dissolved, Sean. I have compassion for why he behaves that way because I left him and humiliated him, and his heart is closed, and he's scared and angry and in revenge. I see it. I get it. I don't need to take it personally. I can have compassion. And I also know who I am. In the face of anybody's lies, I know who I am. In the face of any accusation, I know who I am. In the face of them taking away custody, I know I'm a good mother. No longer does the outside determine my worth or my happiness, thank you very much. And I got super connected to my truth on the inside, and I've never been the same since. And it's an amazing feeling of freedom to no longer allow other people's opinion of you to define you.
Well, that's got to be the best part, right? I mean, that's got to be that breakthrough moment that we always hope for.
Right. And yet it came in a really uncomfortable package. Like if I had known ahead of time this is what it would have taken for me to have self-confidence and self-love, I would have went, nah, never mind. I won't take a body. I won't come onto the planet. Because it's not fun. It's not fun to get myself out of debt. It's not fun for the court to really think I'm a bad mother. I mean, they made the court believe just because I don't have a PhD, because I'm a coach, not a therapist, that I must be some narcissist. They made the court question because I talk about intimacy and the sacredness of sexuality that I must be a slut. Like it was insane what was coming out of their mouth. And that's my purpose you're trying to question. That's my heart and my soul you're questioning. It hurt. But again, it's only in the fire that the phoenix rises. If you cut that butterfly out of the cocoon and don't let it struggle out of there, it dies. There is a beauty to us navigating pain in this world so that we can be our fullest, most radiant self. Life is not about happy, 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 pleasure, pleasure. No, life is about the experience of life. It is not about pain or pleasure. It's how we navigate pain and pleasure with our heart open in presence, connected to the divine and to ourself. That's what it's about.
Huge. Yeah, absolutely. That's huge. So, Life Transformation Radio listeners, if you are listening and if you are mind blown like I am, like I am just in awe of what I'm hearing, the number to call in is 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. Give us a call. If you have any questions for myself or Alana, you can give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. And we are talking about intimacy, and it goes with self-love too. It's not just intimacy with your partner or whoever you're with, but it's love with yourself, yes?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't have love with a partner unless you have it with yourself. That's sprinkles on top of the ice cream cone of shit. It's fake and it's not real. Right. That's you trying to complete yourself by somebody saying you're enough. No. True intimacy, into me I see, is when we can love, come into allowance, come into communion with not just our quote-unquote good parts, but our wobbly parts. And we can open in full vulnerability, honesty, and connection with another. That is a whole new reality of orgasmic bliss and tender oneness. It's hot, it's real, it's beautiful, and it's not just with your beloved. You can open that way with your child, and don't fix them or change them and be like, hey, you have every right to be sad. Come here. Tell me more. Right? You can be that way with your clients. They feel so safe to tell you things that they've never told anyone else because you won't judge them and you won't spill the beans on them. You won't stab them behind the back with your best friend. This is a quality that makes every relationship in your life sacred and makes you a leader and an inspiration.
Yeah, something that you said, I'm struggling with that right now, actually. I came back from New Media Summit and I told my 14-year-old about Neva, who, for those that don't know, Neva is an 8-year-old podcaster. And she's going to write a book, and she's doing amazing things. She's 8. I was eating boogers and playing in dirt at 8. You know what I mean? And so
I do.
I told my 14-year-old, I'm like, dude, check this out. I'm showing her pictures. I'm like, check this out. She's like 8, and this, that, and the other. He's like, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm like, bro, man, look at you. Can you imagine what you could be doing right now? And he's like, that's awesome. And and he just looks at me. He's like, can I play the Xbox? I'm like, what the are you did you not hear what I just said? This little girl, this 8-year-old girl is crushing life. Yeah. And you just asked me to play video games. It was almost like an internal letdown. It was almost like an internal disappointment, And my wife's just like, you know what? He is who he is. You have to love him for who he is. I'm like, yeah, but 4 years though. I have 4 years to prepare him for adulthood. He's not ready. She goes, he may surprise you in a year. You never know. He may surprise you. Or he'll just figure it out real damn fast about how video games won't get you paid.
Maybe. Or he might not figure it out till 55 like some of my clients. And our job as parents, it's so hard, is to not judge these gifts that we're given to steward, not take it personally that they don't show up a certain way. Sean, my boy right now is also 14, and he's decided to live with his dad, and he hasn't been in contact with me since August. And now this is November when the show is being recorded, and he's blocked me from his phone, and it hurts so bad. I'm a friggin' coach. I've been teaching him this shit since he was 2. I had so many, and here's the word, expectations, attachments, conclusions that were connected to my worth based on him. And that's not fair. And it's been such a humbling exercise to allow him his process to reject me so he can fully live with his dad and discover who his dad is, discover who he is, who am I to know why his soul is his soul, your son's soul is your son's soul, and our little 8-year-old girl, came up and gave me a hug during the summit when I shared about what's gone down with my son and wanting to kill himself, etc. She's clearly an old soul. Now, does that make her better than our sons? No, just different. Her path is different. We don't know what our sons are going to do in a year, as your wife said, or 10 years, or 20 years, or maybe for some reason their soul's never going to get it this round. And can we love them anyways? And can we still show up and teach them about accountability, responsibility, opening their heart, living in integrity, cleaning up their messes, making, all the things that we're here to teach them? All we can do is our best and let go. And when we let go, we give them spaciousness to step up. But if we stay attached, there's no room for them to move. It's sort of like giving somebody a hug and then they're like, now go run. They're like, well, I can't. You're hugging me too fast. Like you're holding on. You're controlling me. Like we have to let go. And for us, if we don't have an intimate relationship with Sean, little Alana, like little one inside, the moment we let go and we're out of control and we can't, know what the outcome's going to be, it's terrifying. If we don't have that intimate relationship, that grounded, centered relationship with ourself and with the divine, so that we can open our arms all the way authentically in allowance, even if we don't like it, and just be the embodiment of love. So I say that you and I, because of the paths we've chosen, have also been given our sons to fuck with us and to make us grow up and to make us evolve and actually walk our talks. They're actually helping us. They're training us. And so I get it, dude. I get it.
Awesome. So talk about who have been your biggest influencers and your biggest supporters.
Well, my clients, I love them. They're my biggest, supporters. We cry, we laugh, we swear. Their lives work. They're having magic and miracles, and they say thank you. And I'm just so grateful that I have these incredible people. I get to coach these incredible humans. It's amazing. In terms of inspiration, one of my goals this year on my podcast is to have Brené Brown on my show. I love that woman. She talks of vulnerability. That's the work I do. I would love to actually speak with her in person. And on my journey of growth, the company, I don't know what it's called these days, but it was called Warrior Sage, and it's a couple from Canada, Christiane and Suzanne Raja, and they had studied from David Data. I don't quite resonate as much with David's work. I love his books, but in reality, I don't know quite how it applies to life and modern relationships. But Christiane and Suzanne had studied with him, and they're like a real husband and wife. They have kids. They have a business. It's a real life that I can relate to. And I remember this. I can't believe I'm going to share this, but I'm going to. There was a workshop, and I was still in my head. You remember the stories of husband number one, husband number two. I was still trying to get love, still trying to be good enough, still very insecure. And so he asked me to go to the front of the room and sit in a circle, and I had to do so dressed kind of risque, so I would be triggered. And I had to be wiser than him and answer questions from the group and be more profound than him. Or I would be asked to leave, my money would be given back, and I was never allowed to study with him again. Go. So what it did was it got me out of that trying to be good enough, trying to look good, trying to do it right. And it dropped me into my motherfucking badass heart, truth, sacredness, connection to my wisdom, this incredible capacity I have to heal and shift and cellular memory and all this, how I know how to do this. When I'm in a session, I just give myself over and magic happens. That capacity that he saw in me, he triggered in me, and I showed up and I did it, and people were in tears. And he actually came in front of me and bowed, and he goes, "Okay, goddess, go. Do this, rock this." And I'm like, oh, but it was fantastic. Some of our coaches, trigger us to awaken us.
Wow. Mic drop. That's, jeez. Right?
Yeah. But I'm always up for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So would you change anything, or would you do anything? Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking back about how much that you've overcome so many different things. I mean, I think the internal struggles that we have, people just don't realize how we feel sometimes. Like they don't know, like they can't fathom, they can't understand how we feel. But what I've learned through this whole process is that we are not the only one to ever feel a certain way.
Oh no!
Right? There's no one on earth that says, "Wow, I've never heard of someone feeling that way." Like that's never going to happen. So it's okay. I was told that it's okay to hurt and it's okay to be broken.
Yes. Yes.
But what you do with that, asking yourself, what is good about this? My mentor, Rock Thomas, says, what is good about this? You lost your house. What's good about this? You lost your job. What's good about this? You lost somebody. You ran into you got pulled over. You got whatever. Bad things happen. What is good about this? And focusing on those positives. What is good about this? And I'm like, there's nothing good. You don't understand. What's good about it? He'll always ask you, what's good? You're going through something tough. What is good? And you got to pull something good out of it. Have to. Even if it's a loss of a loved one, you're like, I spent however many years with that person, and it was the greatest time I've ever spent. You know what I mean?
Right.
What is good about it? And I think that once you get to that place, you can get to a point of acceptance, which a lot of people try to avoid. Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm semantic. I don't know what I am, like core or something. I don't know what the word would be, but like I acknowledge your mentor, but I would even invite him and you and everyone listening to even take it to the next level. Whenever we get hooked with good, bad, right, wrong, there's another next level of reality. See, good, bad, right, wrong, it creates more polarity. Got to go for the good, bad with the bad. It keeps us addicted. And it keeps us out of that total presence and allowance of all, resistance to nothing. To me, the definition of consciousness, truly being an enlightened master, conscious on the planet, is allowance of all. And allowance is different than acceptance. Acceptance almost has this let down or give in or give up or just like, it's not active. It's sort of you stop. Allowance is active. Allowance is like, I don't like this. I don't prefer this, but I will not resistance. It's almost like Neo in the Matrix, like come with his little fingers, right? Like he's active, he's prepared. And to me, if you let go of the good, let go of the bad, let all that whole reality like a chasm fall into the nothingness from which it came, and stand in the center, stand in the presence, and allow even like shift the words to what is the growth opportunity in this? You don't have to clamor for, hey, it's good. I had 10 years of them. Like it can still suck bad. And thank you. There's a richer, unwavering kind of like martial artist energy to it where you're calm and you're still, but you're alert. And part of being an allowance of all the pain on this planet is let it integrate. Let the pain touch you. Let the pain break you. Let the pain transform you. Let it have its way with you. Instead of putting it over there, analyzing, it was good because I learned a lesson, but stay over there. Like that's not going to embody the lesson. That's an intellectual analysis of a situation. I'm not interested in sprinkles on top of the ice cream cone of shit. I want that in every 100 trillion cells of your body. Bring it. I want you to be the transformation. And that requires you let pain touch you, penetrate you, have its way with you, and let pleasure also touch you, penetrate you, open you. I remember, if you could imagine a heart, one side of the heart, you go up and down to the bottom. One of those experiences was looking at my dead mother, who I loved so deeply. And there she was in front of me, dead. You look different when you're dead than you're alive. Like she really wasn't there, just her body. It was fascinating and painful as hell. And I chose to be present and keep my heart open and let the pain touch me. And I breathed, and it was excruciating. And 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths, all the way down that one side of the heart, I felt love, oneness. The pain, I felt love. 9 months later, legs splayed wide open, just gave birth to my baby. I'm birthing the placenta. People are everywhere. I could have missed the moment of bliss looking into my son's eyes for the first time. But again, I kept my heart open. I breathed. I experienced that moment of magic of looking at another soul that chose me as their mother. And that's the other side of the heart. I chose to keep my heart open in bliss and let bliss touch me, crush me, obliterate me. And it came down to the bottom of that heart as well. And so to me, that's life. Either side of the heart, we're going to get to love if we stay present, if we let pain crush us, bliss obliterate us, and just stay there. That makes you unstoppable.
Awesome. Whew. Fired up, man. Let's do this. Like, so much truth in there and so much, like, vulnerability, like you were saying. There's so much, oh, man, there's so much there. And it's power to have that. It's power.
Yes. And
so
that's
as we close the show. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, please, go.
Also, as we close the show, is my favorite time of the show to do a shameless plug. You can plug a friend, a quote, your websites, Facebook, products, your favorite movie. Give a shout out to whoever, whatever you want. This is your moment to shamelessly plug. Go.
Well, first, shamelessly plug you. Thank you for having me on your show. You are so badass. You get me. You are on this level of intensity of like living, and I think you're awesome. High five. Slap your ass. You're amazing. Cool. And I'll also plug myself. I have an incredible free complimentary workshop going on right now that's called Soul Shaking Conscious Relationship Week. And all you need to do is go to my website, alanapratt.com/soul-shaking. So Alana is ALLANAPRATT.com/soul, SOUL, soul-shaking. It's a video series I've created. I'm teaching you some of the deep, profound tools in order to stay present, navigate intense emotions, let go of the past, be intimate with yourself and with your lover. I would love everyone listening to sign up. It's totally free. Let me love you. Let me support you. Let me help you let go of what's in the way or blocking yourself being connected to you, your power, your freedom, and your shining, and giving of yourself and your purpose on the planet.
Love it. And I got the website and everything in the show notes. And so you click on the show notes, and it's right there, the Soul Shaking Conscious Relationship Week, alanapratt.com/soul shaking. And they can click right on that link, take you there. Perfect. So as we wrap up, can you deliver your best nugget of knowledge that will motivate, transcend, and inspire someone to take action?
Well, thank you. I don't know if it's the most inspiring, but what I'm present to right now, Sean, is the reason why I'm able to be so alive and deliver these, your words like drop, microphone drop, sort of like nuggets, is your listening. I've been on a lot of podcasts. I've probably been interviewed over 100, 150 times over the past 20 years. And it's been dry. It's been difficult. The interviewer isn't listening. They're not present. They can't be with the depth of my information. So I can only give to the degree the listener can receive. So almost makes me want to cry. I really want to honor you and the depth of your transformational processes and willingness to work with coaches and go deep and keep doing the work, because who you're being allows me to show up more fully for your listeners, because other interviewers just don't. And it's really kind of boring and stale, to be honest. So I want the listeners to take that. Your willingness to do your own inner work makes you a better mother and father. It makes you a better lover. It makes you a better friend. It makes you safe to be with. It makes you that person that they call at 3 a.m. because you're the one that won't judge them. So know that by you doing all this deep inner work that is tough, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not just the easy magic pill. You got to have courage. You got to have humility. But the result is this rich gift you give the world to really come and meet you deeply, just like Sean is doing for me right now. You all can do that for the people that you care about in your life. So please come to my workshop. Please let me love you. Please keep listening to Sean, because he's walking his talk. And just know that capacity is in all of us, and that I love you and acknowledge you wherever you are on your path. Just simply take the next step. That's what I do. And that's what Sean does, and that's what all of us can do. Just take the next step.
Aw, I don't even know what to say.
Aw, you say thank you.
So great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So that's a great call to action to have. We always end the show with a call to action. And that's really the theme of the day, is to really, above everything, it's to have the self-love and have the power to acceptance and everything, but but it's just like walk your talk.
Yeah.
You know, like just be the badass self that you know that you are, you know, and be true to who you are. And don't walk in, you know, don't put that mask on, don't put the facade on. Don't, like, if you're broken, you're broken. If you're great, you're great, you know. And when I started doing that, my life was 10x'd. When I started, like, whatever I feel, I'm going to show it. You know, I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to bury it. I'm not going to, you know, I don't want to hide my excitement because I don't want other people to think that I'm just so self-absorbed. And no, I'm going to show my excitement. Like, guys, oh my God, check this out, you know. And then if I'm really sad, you know, people ask me, like, well, how you doing? I'm like, I'm just, because everybody says, how you doing? Good. Good.
No.
Like, oh, so you're just living a good. And I tell people, you're just living a good life. That's it. Just good. I mean, I'm really great today. I'm like, well, then tell people. Like, that's my mission. Like for 2018 is to call people out on their good life. How you doing today? Good. No, you're not. You're either doing well or you're doing horrible. What is it? Take your pick. There's no good here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna. That's my 2018. Like, my goal is just to blow people up on their good life. Like, stop living a good life. Like, go out there and live an epic life.
Yeah, an authentic life.
Awesome.
Oh, you're awesome. High five. Woohoo!
I know. So are you. I am so. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for coming on the show. I know you have another show to get to, and I just want to say to you, and I felt that connection to you in San Diego, and I was just in awe of how you wear your emotions. You know what I mean? And how you just that energy that you put out. And that authenticity, like people talk about authenticity, like you are an authentic badass, and you're so real and so raw, and I just love it,
Oh, thank you, big hug, thank you, you're the best. Big love
you are
puddle.
too, right? So again, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I cannot wait to run this journey alongside you. And learn more about you as we go.
Sounds awesome. Any way I can be of service to you, promote you, feature you, tell us about the TED Talk. I'll let my whole community know. Go for it. I will. You're awesome.
December 14th, I'll be doing it, so I'll let you know. Awesome. Thank you so much. Life Transformation Radio listeners, if you are listening to the show and you are not excited, you better check your pulse because this episode was amazing. Allana Pratt is... Oh, she is so wonderful, and I'm so lucky and honored to have her in my life, and I love what she's doing. She is such an amazing and fabulous human being. So connect with her, facebook.com/Coach Allana Pratt. Go to her website, Allana, Allana, Pratt, Pratt, AllanaPratt.com. Check out her trainings. Check out what she's doing. She will rock your world. She is absolutely amazing. So as we close the show, I always say, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the values that you hold deep in your heart. I call that living your brand. And until next episode, have a great day.